back of the ear. Awesome.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to game number 9 up here in the top right-hand corner of Dario. We have our red Zerg player from Team SCV Life. It is HyuN. And he's won 11 weeks of this thing called Fight Club in a row, but he has come across his biggest competition yet, the reigning GSL Code S champion from Startail, our purple Zerg player, Life.
It is time to see who's actually going to win this series. I've been reading about it all day, man.
Yeah.
Reading everybody's predictions, trying to decide for myself. Going, well, Life, you know, GSL champion, excellent ZVZ here. It is versus HyuN, who is apparently unbeatable. And I think a lot of this really comes down to superstition.
Mm-hmm.
I think if, you know, I don't know. I don't think statistics and stuff are going to read this one. I think if you brought in like a voodoo doll person and had them, you know, make your bet for you, you'd be much more likely to win.
Well, this is game number 9, and if these guys go for super, and they're not actually, we see 14 supply for both players. I would expect this, you would rely on very standard play from here on out, because in a game 9, you can't bank on a 6 pool, a 10 pool aggression, anything like that.
So true. Going for something like that, it really, I mean, it's not reliable. I think that's really the best way to say it.
What? We have hatch first from both players for the very first time in this entire 9-game set. I'm so happy.
I'm flabbergasted. What?
I'm so happy.
This is unbelievable. All right, so, oh, you know what? This actually has a lot of resemblance to a name that when I started saying this sentence, I knew I wasn't going to remember the name of it.
Ah,
you ever
that's
had
okay.
that happen?
Yep. Oh,
yeah.
all the time.
Kind of regretting it.
Yep. That's okay.
But
live life with no regrets.
Quick pool follow-up there out of HyuN. Life, instead, going to play with an elegant level of greed. Will it be mutalisk? I'm waiting. I love learning more and more about players that I haven't had the opportunity to cast a lot of, Life being one of them. I wish I've gotten to see more of them, and you really learn a lot about players casting them because you're just always thinking, what are they doing? What are they doing?
Yeah.
Well, Life, I mean, I'll put it on mute. We're going to see. HyuN, in the meantime, guys, going for the quick extractor here.
Yeah. Well, see here.
Everybody going gasless.
Yeah, Life is obviously going to get Zergling speed as soon as the spawning pool is finished up. Timing that nicely. HyuN, of course, going to prioritize getting a couple of queens out, and but nothing's really all that different so far. We've seen that this is kind of their preferred methods of going for hatch first in the game that we did see Life do this before when HyuN, of course, quick pooled him. He decided to get gas first as well because he wants to always, in most games, go for that quick Zergling speed. And that's what he does here. Is he going to pull off of gas? He's actually not yet. And that's really interesting because,
yeah, it is.
I mean, usually you'll see Zerg players just leave 1 on gas. And you can see HyuN keeps checking that just to make sure there's 3 harvesters on there. And indeed there are. Because a lot of people will just leave 1 on there. Then you can eventually go up to defensive banelings, into your roach worm, but concentrate on your economy. Now finally starting to pull off of that. But may have something a little more devious in mind.
You know, taking a look at what Life has excelled at and what HyuN has been weak at in this match, baneling control really stands out to me. Life has done a fantastic job at abusing HyuN's lack of ability to appropriately control banelings, picking them off by letting rogue Zerglings run into the mix, and it's really been pretty definitive that Life has had better Ling Bane control than HyuN. So
yeah, I agree.
Maybe Life trying to capitalize on that a little bit, you know, play to the strengths that he's learned over this series that he has over HyuN.
Now HyuN, he's leaving 3 in gas the entire time, so both these guys are getting an incredible amount, and we may even see a pretty early layer out of these guys too. So, excuse me, we'll check in here in just a minute and see if that's a possibility. Things are already running away for Life at the moment. Looks like HyuN has been able to hold back and even starting to push away this Overlord. Can't overextend too far though, and yeah, it knows that there's the possibility that there's a lot of Zerglings on the map. And there's a few out there, but you're playing against Life. You can't run your queens out in the middle like you know against some Zerg players who are just going to sit and drone all day.
No, definitely a great play there by HyuN, not getting too greedy with that. Life now going to run in with a couple of links, shows his speed, and HyuN immediately, look at the safety here out of HyuN, opting to make 4 banelings.
Yeah, and as a consequence, delaying his layer tech by quite a bit. Life is very nearly done with this and going up to much more gas. So he's going to have a total of 4 gas. He's going to have layer tech. We may be looking back at a very strong muta build for the second time.
Yeah, Life going to get into the main, actually. This is really, really nice for him. Gets a ton of information. But the lair, was the lair started actually this right when the Lynx came in?
Check. It was, yes.
Okay. So did manage to, well, I'm wondering if he saw the lair start, if he knows it's right at the beginning of it. Either way, Spire going down at this moment. Life going to be investing in those mutas, as you were just saying, Kevin.
Oh.
And HyuN's going to try to punish him a little bit.
Yes, he is. These Banelings actually just running right on through. They give no cares to the Zerglings that are chasing them from behind, trying to get the perfect burst. They do manage to pick off 6 Zerglings with just 1 Baneling. A great use there for HyuN.
HyuN looks like he's turning around now, so wow, that's awesome. I mean, moving out with Lings and Banes, if he can make it home with the Banelings, then he truly did a great job getting a response out of Life and not paying any consequences for it. The Zergling's doing a great job right now of protecting the Banelings. Banelings are about halfway home at this stage. Opting, tries to take advantage of those reads, but not able to get a victory off of it. Banelings continuing to run home. None of these Banelings, there we go, the middle one is, yeah, I was wondering why he ran away from this. That's the one with low hit points. But there we go, Ling engagement. HyuN gonna lose him, but he gets the Banelings home safely. Oh no!
And then throws it away. Well, that's okay. He's going to sit back now on 2 bases. His lair tech is finished up. He's already producing a lot of roaches, but he needs some anti-air and he needs some anti-air stat. There are 7 mutalisks, 8 mutalisks now, about ready to crash their way across the map for Life. And of course, like I said before, the amount of damage you do is largely done with Zergling run by, so 8 Zerglings coming back.
Now, something I would like to see out of HyuN is this Overlord with that's dropping the creep. Drop it a little bit closer to the third. You could build Spore Crawlers there because his Infestation Pit is still so far away. We see he's already dropping the Spore Crawlers down now. He's got 2 on the way, likely 1 in each of his main and natural. And we see him building it actually towards the front, which is pretty cool because he's going to be able to use Queens and then fall back to the Spore Crawler.
Yeah, and we'll see here now if he's going to be able to get enough out there to be able to hold this alive. The Spore Crawler is actually being shot down very quickly. 1 Queen is up there in defense, but not going to be enough to save the Spore Crawler. Oh, transfuses it right at the very end.
Wow.
And again, he gets actually a second from the back. Really nice play there. It helps him take out an additional 2 Mutalisks of the 8 original ones that ran up to the front. But HyuN's still going to lose 2 Queens and going to lose his Spore Crawlers.
But a beautiful play there out of HyuN, doing what he could with the tools he had available, letting that Spore Crawler finish at the absolute last second. Not the best target firing, however, coming out of HyuN. Those 2 shots would have gotten that 1 Muta extremely low. Looks like he's going to try to sneak some Banelings into the natural expansion as well, while his Overlords are falling, and he will be driven to a supply block.
Wow, he actually just lost 5 additional Overlords there. So now, these Mutalisks do pick up on the Banelings that are making their way out. Because they're so low DPS, they actually can't do a lot of damage in enough time, and HyuN just going to crash on through. He kills most of the Banelings of his opponent, and the Roaches still have enough DPS, and won't go down to the Mutalisks that he should be able to take out a hatchery here before those all fall. However, the Mutalisks are coming right back for life and doing damage over at his opponent's 12 o'clock third.
There are just so many Mutalisks on the field right now for Life, and HyuN has no way to deal with this quantity. He was taking out the ones in the top portion, but now losing his Roaches. It looks like he's not even going to lose his third, Kevin. It's going to survive with about 250 hit points, whereas we will see HyuN lose his third. Life looking in a very good position right now, and is finally transitioning out of Mutalisk. We see him researching +1 and Glial Reconstitution. He's just going to abuse and assert his map control for the next 3 minutes.
So he's clearly done his damage. He's still up by 9 workers at the moment. He has a little bit weaker frontline engagement army. In fact, these Mutalisks won't be able to win any sort of an engagement yet. So there is an opening for HyuN to try and move across the map and maybe do a bit of damage. But as soon as he does, the advantage of the Mutalisk is going to come into play, and HyuN is just going to, or I'm sorry, Life is just going to be able to run around and backstab him.
Yep. Which looks like what he's going to make a slight run for right now. Nope, opting instead to take them to the left. Thought he might go in there, pick off a few extractors, but we do see HyuN looking like he's going to opt to try to take that third again, and he will drop it down. But the Overlord's hanging out right over top of it, so Mutalisks are going to swing in, try to save the day. We see the Spore Crawler and Queens and Infestors coming in, and actually, no, he's just going to opt instead. Looks like it's an Overseer these Mutas are going to be picking off.
Yeah. All right, so now Life sitting back at home. He's got 8 Roaches out. That's a vastly superior count to his opponent. And the Infestors, though, so far don't have any counters yet. Pathogen glands are far enough along that Life can start producing those, and produces some pretty good quantity. He's got a lot of gas banked up. There we go. Infestors are now starting to hit, but he is supply blocked. He needs to produce multiple. Oh, here is now HyuN's moment. He's got to be able to take these out pretty cost efficiently. He does. He is losing his Queens very, very quickly, and it looks like he may start to lose a few Infestors. infestors here. Has HyuN finally done it? Or, I'm sorry, has Life finally done it? Will he be able to break through here? He loses most of his mutalisks over the top, though, because the spore callers are actually not being shot down. And it's a little bit too little too late. Life loses all the mutalisks overhead, and he is even going to lose the vast majority of these roaches. It looks like all of them, but he whittles down his opponent's infestor count to just 2.
An incredible attack there out of Life. Catching the Queens. The Queens were off the creep. They weren't able to retreat to the Spore Crawlers. So much damage done there by Life, guys. HyuN now in a desperate position. Has secured his third finally, but I mean, you take a look at the third of Life. And you see, okay, he's mining off both gases. He's got some drones on minerals. Whereas the third of HyuN, I mean, it just finished. He's got nothing established there. But notably, you know, the supplies are reasonably close. Only a 24 supply spread currently. Life just did so much damage. Now I'm going to come in with some Zerglings. See if he can get some... He's actually reinforcing this with roaches and infestors, it does appear. Which, remember, we saw he was researching earlier the +1 and Glial.
All right, and it looks like this 4-roach hit squad is actually going to try and counterattack here. At the same time, Zerglings tried to get in, but they really can't find anything to do. There's a lot of infestors out there that are actually spending a lot of their energy. Actually, 4 infestors worth of fungal growths onto just into infested Terrans. Is that going to be enough? HyuN doesn't have any fungal growths to respond with, but he does clean up the front line of roaches pretty cost-effectively, and he picks off the third base.
Yeah, a beautiful play there for HyuN, really battling his way back into this game. Those 4 roaches could have made all the difference. We're going to find out. Life trying to engage right now. Needs to crack HyuN because he realizes I'm down a base. If this game goes on for too long, you're going to be so far ahead of me. Life opting to fall back for the moment. He doesn't have a lot of options from here, Kevin.
And HyuN actually has an upgraded advantage. He's got +2 attacks, and +2 hasn't even been started for his opponent. These roaches do pick up on the presence of the next base too, and they're going to be able to sneak in and potentially do some damage here. They will be able to finish off this roach and then pick off a couple of drones as well.
The Burrow really going to factor in as well, as that's going to give serious sustain, to HyuN's army, as he's going to be able to attack, pull back, regen, and then attack once again, as we see he's actually possibly preparing to do at this moment. But infestors do make it difficult, of course, for roaches to fall back. 124 to 129. Game pretty close right now, but HyuN definitely with the economic advantage, as that third has been taken out.
I thought Life actually had an opportunity to push in and just win the game outright, but a brilliant defense from HyuN, and he's not just right back in this, but he's got a third base up to his opponent's non-existent third, and with a little bit of an advantage. He's 3 workers back, but that's basically a draw at this stage of the game. He's going to Hydralisk Den, but looks like the same thing's coming up for Life, so we're moving back towards that very familiar unit composition that both these players have been utilizing in the late game this entire set.
Go figure, Kevin. Game 9 is going to be the incredibly enthralling one. Guys, Life going for his 4th base. HyuN not having a 4th quite yet established. Supply count just slightly favoring HyuN with the upgrades as well. Life is going to be hard-pressed here to get his way back into this game. It looks like he's going to opt for the quick expansion as the means to that end.
All right. Well, infestor count is in Life's favor at the moment, 10 to 7, and he's injected a few new ones into there just recently. It's actually going to be a little bit more than that. He's not prioritizing out those Hydralisks though, like like HyuN always does. HyuN he's finishing up his groove spine, so there we go. The first 5 Hydralisks are just about to hit, going up to a 4th base, but it is quite far behind his opponents, and it looks like Life may be able to get a cancel on this right away.
Yeah, it's going to fall. And doesn't even get the cancel. 300 minerals down the drain for HyuN, and everything counts at this stage of the game, guys. This is an extremely close set here, especially now that the 4th base for Life has finished. You know, he was a little bit behind, is still a little bit behind, and the 4th is going to allow him to get back into this even more focused with the fact that he just denied the 4th of HyuN.
Okay, well, armies are pretty close in size, I have to say. There we go. With the latest round of 9 Hydralisks, that will actually make a pretty big advantage for HyuN. But by the time he actually moves across the map, Life should have enough units to be able to at least draw this to a standstill with correct positioning. This is going to come down right to the wire. Nice contaminates again. HyuN, this entire time, has been getting a lot of work done in preventing those larva injects.
Well, HyuN positioned at the bottom towards the center of the map. HyuN has tended also to be the aggressor, whereas Life has appreciated playing defense a bit more often, I would say. But Changeling's absolutely everywhere on the map right now. HyuN looking like he's getting ready to make a committed engagement. Fungal growth goes down on a small group of roaches there. This is a rough position, though, for Life.
Yeah, I mean, the concave for HyuN is just magnificent, and he has enough Hydralisks back here that are actually able to outrange most of the units for life, that he's actually doing some pretty significant damage. But is it going to be enough? There's still a lot of Infestors here. The Infested Terran Energy is starting to go away, though, and HyuN's actually pushing through this, and he's going to grab a base at the same time.
This game has been incredibly close, but now life's starting to fall apart. Possibly he's falling back. All his Infestors are out of energy. HyuN going to take down what we were calling the hope of a comeback there for life, the fourth. HyuN simultaneously also taking a fourth base while he continues this push. Guys, HyuN could possibly just end it here. Life trying to mount some sort of a defense, but the Hydra's in the back doing so much damage. Life falling back once again, throwing down a few infested Terrans and falling back again. No, HyuN continuing to push forward down to just Hydras at this point, which remember, don't fare too well against Roaches, but the drones are going to have to come off the line for Life, who is down now below 100 supply to HyuN, who has over 160.
GG! And HyuN's done it again! He beats the reigning GSL Code S champion, and HyuN is your 12-time IPL Fight Club champion. Unbelievable! This man is just on a roll. It doesn't matter who you throw against him. HyuN, what a monster of a player.
An incredible Game 9 there, guys, to wrap up things. I can't believe that HyuN just took that game. It was so back and forth, time after time. Life was in the lead after the mutalisk. Then there was the engagement where we lost all the mutas. Kind of killed some queens, I guess. But HyuN all of a sudden is out of nowhere in a fantastic lead after that third. What a game there, guys, between both of those players. HyuN taking it.
Yep, HyuN wins his 12th week. He has now accumulated a $1,200 bounty. He's also won $6,300 over these 12 weeks. Add on to that, we did have a first today. Life is the first player to actually win more than 3 games against HyuN, so we know that he is beatable at times, but is he beatable in a best of 9? I don't know. We don't have our opponent set for next week yet, but that was a great showing, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. So there we have it, guys. That is going to be it for our broadcast tonight. Tomorrow we are going to be into the IPTL up and down matches. Wednesday we'll have the IPTL playoffs, so I hope you guys will join us for that. Again, please do welcome our brand new caster Kibbles to the lineup and follow him on Twitter. He is at Kibbles. You can see it right down there. Make sure you follow the IGN Pro League on Twitter, Facebook, as IGN Pro League, and check out our brand new YouTube channel /IPL Esports. That's youtube.com/IPL Esports. Finally, if you want, looks like they took the headset away from me, but if you want to win an Astro A50 headset from our friends over at Astro Gaming on Twitter, then head over to IGN.com/IPL giveaways. I feel like 50's game show sound should be going off. Ding, 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 ding. IGN.com/IPL giveaways. We're going to have so many giveaways there over the next few weeks, so we hope you guys will check it out. That is it for us tonight. You guys have a wonderful day. We'll see you tomorrow.